The Vatican City, the centre of the Roman Catholic Church and home to the most influential spiritual leader on earth, the Pope, has long since been a source of intrigue and mystery. Whilst some might associate it more with St. Peter's Square, the Pope greeting throngs of crowds from his papal palace, and the glorious Renaissance artworks of the incredible Italian masters of old, there is much that goes on behind closed doors beyond any prying eyes. But how could it have remained so secretive all this time, and what kind of mysteries could it hold? There are two main power drivers. The Vatican City has the wealth, with an estimated $10 to $15 billion of assets and investments. It also has the network, with over 1 billion dedicated followers across the world. With this kind of network and this amount of money, there is no doubt the Vatican has a lot of power. Now take the power that the Vatican wields and remember that this is an organization that has been in existence with that same power since the 4th century AD. In the 700 years since, this religious institution that is ingrained into the lives of its believers and the fabric of our culture will have stumbled upon many secrets of man and no doubt kept them for itself. And where would they hide such secrets? In the heart of the Vatican City. The Vatican Secret Archives hold thousands of documents, state papers and correspondence accumulated over centuries, almost like a living testament of humanity itself. Since the 19th century, these archives have been opened up to researchers and, in effect, a little less secret. But don't let that make you think that the Vatican has no more secrets left to tell. Huge sections of the archives remain off-limits and confidential. Should we find our way in, however, and delve a little deeper, there may be incredible mysteries waiting to be found. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at these 3 things that could be hiding in the Vatican archives. Information on extraterrestrials. Evidence of extraterrestrial life and aliens is not something you might expect to get from any major religious organization, let alone the Vatican. The Vatican has spent hundreds of years looking up to the heavens in prayer. So with the centuries that have passed, have Vatican scientists come across something more, and could they be hiding it in the Vatican secret archives? New evidence may prove that the Vatican not only has evidence of aliens, but might even be hiding these otherworldly beings from the public. The priest who directs the Vatican Observatory, Dr. Jose Funes, said in an interview that the universe is so huge that it would be possible that life could evolve the way we know it on Earth. It might not seem an odd statement, but this was the first time Vatican officials had ever publicly acknowledged the likelihood of alien life. Not only that, but this is a dramatic reversal of Vatican policy that previously stated aliens did not exist. Something significant must have occurred for the Vatican to reverse a 2,000-year-old teaching, or else a discovery unearthed or encountered that made releasing this statement urgent and necessary. Previous claims have noted that the Vatican might have empirical evidence of intelligent life beyond our planet. After all, the Vatican has a well-funded but private scientific academy, the Pontificia Accademia delle Scienze, or rather the Pontifical Academy of Sciences, well dedicated to astronomy and the heavens above. Further, it was affirmed that in 1998, skulls with elongated heads and small faces that were not of human origin or any discernible species on this planet were found under the Vatican Library. This claim has been voraciously denied time and time again. Details of Jesus' bloodline. The story of Jesus Christ is one of the most well-known across the planet. His miracles, crucifixion, and resurrection are all some of the most famous narratives of human culture, but whilst you might think the story is complete from start to finish, with the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John documenting Jesus' life from birth to death to subsequent resurrection. However, there is a large part of Jesus' life that is distinctly missing from the accounts of Jesus' story. From the time Jesus was 8 years old until he was in his early 30s, there is a significant gap in his biography. The exception is located in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 2, verses 41 to 51, tells of when a 12-year-old Jesus travelled to Jerusalem with his parents to celebrate Passover. Aside from that, there is nothing else. No detail about Jesus' early years, such as his schooling or childhood friends, or his life as a young adult. This is until now. An ancient manuscript around 1500 years old has been unearthed at the British Library with surprising revelations about Jesus' life in the interim. With such astounding claims in such an early authenticated document, this is something that could certainly have more documents to back it up in the Vatican secret archives. Even with the Vatican having such documents in their possession, however, these chronicles of Jesus' early life would never see the light of day due to their shocking claims. According to this lost gospel of Jesus, the would-be Messiah became engaged, got married, and went on to not only have sexual relations, but also produce children. Arguably, there is nothing theologically troublesome about Jesus getting married. It's not as if the Bible rules that out. What is more controversial is the idea of Jesus having a bloodline that still exists today. And that's something the Vatican would want to keep hidden in its secret archives. The Lost Gospel writes that Jesus and Mary Magdalene produced a daughter, with further pages suggesting the birth of a second child. This document led to deeper investigations beyond the text, with scholars trying to piece together Jesus' subsequent bloodlines. Two of the most prominent researchers believe 13 generations of Jesus' descendants existed in Britain before the times of King Arthur, and that being the case means the descendants of the Son of God are not limited to just a few people, but are many and widely spread amongst us. Research continues to this day. Transcripts from the trial of the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar are legend, with this secret organization of monks and knights achieving almost mythical status despite their very real achievements. What is not as well known, however, is the huge fall from grace these ancient heroes suffered from a royal trial rather than a bloody battle being their downfall. However, a medievalist at the Vatican Secret Archives stumbled upon a compilation of intriguing documents dating from 1307 to 1312 on the French trial of the Knights Templar and the Vatican's response. The Knights Templar's roots go back to the early 12th century, where a French nobleman and his companions dedicated themselves to the protection of Christians on pilgrimage to Jerusalem. In this noble pursuit, these so-called knights adopted vows of obedience, poverty, and chastity, but in the defense of Christ's followers permitted themselves war. Merging both the actions of the clergy with the actions of the soldier had never been done before, and so the legend of the monk knight was born. Whilst their quest was not a cheap one and always required a vast sum of expense, the Templars' main problem with the amount of money they had coming in was a tremendous amount of people also trusting them with their money, as if the knights were a 12th century bank deposit. With their extensive network and wealth of riches, they soon began to attract the wrong kind of attention, and in 1307, King Philip IV of France had the Knights Templar arrested and brought to trial. For 7 years, the knights would be tortured, humiliated, and lacerated until they made their forced confessions amid desperate physical pain. The Templars were found guilty of treason against Christianity. The order was dissolved, its remaining members seized, and wealth and property confiscated. In the end, the Templars' enigmatic leader, Jacques de Molay, was burned at the stake. And whilst the accusations began in France, rulers all over Europe followed suit, and completely surpassed the order. Today, however, the Knights' tainted history is under investigation, since the document found in the Vatican's secret archives might clear their name and allegations of heresy. Experts believe the Knights Templar will be partly rehabilitated by these documents. It seems like Pope Clement V absolved the Templars of heresy, which had been the backbone of the case against them. Indeed, whilst the Pope was convinced the Templars had committed some grave sins, they were not heretics. They were also said to have practiced sodomy, a true sin at that time. It has not been proven either way, but even if true, this was merely a minor sin rather than anything truly heretical. Documents like these will go some way to adding more life to the legends of the Knights Templar. However, it's still difficult today to get access to the full catalogue of the Vatican Archives. Naturally, you come to wonder just how many documents have been censored by the Catholic Church, or misplaced, in this sea of ancient papers. And if they have been censored, why? But what do you make of these secret Vatican archives, and what do you think could be down there? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.